Hi everyone and welcome back to Computer Practice with Mr. H. Today we're going to do mail merge, and this is specifically for Computer Practice N5. However, mail merge do pop up in Computer Practice N6 as well, so you will also learn from this. Just to remind you guys, please remember to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell so that you can be notified of future videos that will be downloaded. Let's jump in. First of all, what is mail merge? Well, mail merge allows you to create one letter, and because you created one letter, you can then create more copies of that one letter based on the merge fields that you have entered into your first letter. That will allow you to then send that letter to different people. Now, what's important about mail merge is that it's divided into three parts. The first part is the data source file, and you will always have to start with your data source file. The second part is the main document, and the third part is the merged documents. I want to put your attention to this. You cannot create the main document if you haven't done the data source file first. Why? Because there's certain merge fields that needs to be inserted in your main document. You will not be able to do that if you didn't create a data source file. So these three parts are connected with each other, because in the third section you will not be able to merge your document if you do not have a main document, and you will not be able to merge if you in your main document you did not insert data fields or merge fields. So the three parts are separate, but they are connected with each other. You can't do mail merge if you haven't done all three parts. Okay, so Part 1, the data source file. Now there are two methods that we're going to discuss on how to create a data source file. There are other methods as well, but just for our sake we're just going to focus on two methods. The first method is using the mailings tab, which is in Microsoft Word, and the second method is again Microsoft Word, but actually creating an actual table. Alright, method 1, mailings tab in Word. In Microsoft Word, you have a mailings tab, or you have the tabs, and one of those tabs between references and review is the mailings tab. It allows you to then create a data source file by using select recipients. Type a new list. Sometimes after you've typed the list and you need to use the mailings tab again, you can then just use existing list because you have already created a list. Of course, you can create a data source file by using start mail merge as well, but we're not going to do it that way. The second method is to create an actual table in Microsoft Word, where you have to create columns and rows for your table. And please pay attention that headings must always be on top of a table. That is the first rule that you must understand. So it doesn't matter how the instruction comes your way or how the instruction is presented to you, you need to know that the headings must go on top of your table at all times. Alright, so let's go over to a question. Here we have our first question. This question comes from the 2019 Computer Practice N5 National Exam question paper. Question 5. You can also find this question paper in the comments section, or you can download it by using the link in the comment section just below this video. Question 5. You are the president of SA Wrestling, and you must invite members to your fight. Okay, so just before we continue, so what needs to happen here? You're the president and you need to send a letter to people. And you're going to type one letter, but you're going to use a certain method, mail merge, to merge one letter into many different letters. Okay, so let's see. Question 5A. Use the mail merge function to create a data file using the names and the information below. So let's see. there's 3 letters that needs to be created. Alright. The first person is Henru, the second person is Tony, and the third person is Milan. On the side here we have name, date, closing date, and entrance fee information or headings. Name, Henru, Tony, Milan. Date, 20, 21, 22 November. Closing date, 10, exam number, question 5A, entrance fee. You see, you kind of read this table from the sides. Now, if we go back to our previous slide, we will notice that what was my first rule? Headings must always be on top of a table. It doesn't matter how your question is presented, you need to ensure that your headings is always on top. Alright, now with that said, here is my information, and what we're now going to do is we're now going to go to Microsoft Word, and we're first going to apply method 1. Remember method 1? By using the Mailings tab. So let's do that. So here I am in Microsoft Word, and remember, here's my tabs. I need to click on Mailings. Under Mailings, I'm going to select Recipients, type a new list. Alright, this dialog box, new address list dialog box, will open in front of me. And what it does, it already gives me a set of headings, and it gives me space to type in my information. Now if we go back to our question, alright, I just copy and pasted the question quickly into Microsoft Word so that we can see the actual information. So remember, this will always be my headings. It doesn't matter on what side it is, you need to know that this is your headings, and eventually they become your field names. Now they need to be inserted into this dialog box over here. Alright, we do not, now let's see. The headings that we need to use is name, date, closing date, and entrance fee, isn't it? But if you look at the headings that's already here, they do not correspond with the headings that I need to use. Luckily, I have the option to customize my column headings, and that is what I'm going to do. The word customize means that you make it to suit your specifications, almost like when you go to a fashion designer or an architect or someone that designs things. They specifically customize it or make it whatever you want to your body type or to your specification, your likes, or whatever. But anyway, let's click on customize columns. This another box appears. Alright, I'm just going to put this, sorry, let me just quickly put this over there and then click on customize columns so that we have space. Alright, so these are the headings that's already there. I don't want them. Well, I have the opportunity to add more. Alright, I can add my own ones, which is probably the fastest way, or I can delete the ones that's already there, or I can rename the ones that's there already. So you have that option. So just to so we can make this a little bit faster, let's click on add, and then we type in, and please pay attention, these are typed in capital letters, so please do the same. Copy this exactly as it is. So it is name, type it in there, click OK. The next one is date, closing date, closing date, click OK. And the last one is entrance fee. So there's my headings. I've just added my fields to the address list, and that's all I need. And then I'm going to click on OK. There you see. There is my information that I've just used. But if we go further down the line, the others are there as well. We do not want them there. So what are we going to do? We're going to go back to our list, and what we're actually going to do is we're going to go and delete the others. Alright, so unfortunately I have to go and delete every single one. My advice would be to do the following so that you don't get confused. Let's cancel this. Alright, let's cancel this. Let's cancel this as well. And let's start from the beginning. When you open Microsoft Word, you click on Select Recip Mailings under Mailings tab. You click on Select Recipients, type a new list. The first thing that you do is you go to Customize Columns and you delete every single merge field or heading or list. You delete as fast as you can. Unfortunately, you have to do this each by themselves. You can't do a selection, for example. You can't do it. Let me see. You can't select them because it just moves. So you have to go and delete each one separately as fast as you can. But this should take you like what, 10 seconds at the most, 1 minute at the most. Alright, so once you have deleted everything and it's like a blank slate, then you can add what needs to be added. Alright, so the first one is name there, if you can make that out there, name. The second one is date. Third one is closing date. And the last one, entrance fee. Alright, so there you go. Once you've added all of them, you can click OK. If you made a mistake in some way, you can of course rename if you made a spelling mistake, and please do fix spelling mistakes because they count as accuracy marks. And you can also move certain ones to the correct location where they need to be by using move up and move down. And if you've, say for example, you've added an extra field, you can just delete it then. Select it and delete it. So that's what these are for. Alright, so don't be scared to use them if you need to. So once you've added all of them, then you can click on OK. There they are. And then now you can actually fill in the rest of the information. These are also called records. Alright, they are called records. So this, in the first line, we're going to insert record 1's information or letter 1's information. In the second row, and how do I get to a second row? Just by clicking new entry. And third one, new entry. So there's the 3 rows or records, or the spaces at least for them, have been created. If I need to delete a certain row, then I just click on delete. Okay. So, and then otherwise I just click to where I want it to be. You can also, what's nice to use is the arrow keys on your keyboard. Also is a nice little option to use in this case. So let's see. The first name there is Henro, and it's typed in capital letters, so I need to do the same. Crit Zinger, sorry, Crit Zinger. And if your space is not big enough, similar to a table, you just make it bigger, like that. The second name is Tony. I like to finish my fields first before I continue to the next field or column. Alright, and then Milan is the next one. Alright, so now my first column, the names are all done. Now I continue to the dates, 20 November 2019. The second date is 21 November 2019, and the third one is 22nd November 2019. Alright, closing date. Closing date 10 November 2019. The next information there is examine in letter 2, closing date examination number. Now what this means is you actually have to go and type in your examination number into that field. The reason for that is with a data source file, and you're going to see that later, you can't insert a header and a footer into a data source file. So the examiners has made provision for that. That is why you have to actually type in your details into the data source file. Okay, so in this case, you physically have to go and type in your examination number, and your examination number is your ID number. Now, I'm not going to type in my actual ID number. I'm going to fill in an alias. So I'm going to go for 1965. December the 6th. Alright, so that's a fictitious ID number. The next one is question 5a, and sorry, not question 5a. Closing date, let's see, closing date. Yeah, question 5a, sorry. I got a bit confused there. So you type in question, and you have to type in the question number in here so we can know it's question 5a's information. And then we go to entrance fee. Entrance fees information is 200 Rand. Go down, 280. And the last one is 280 again. Alright, so I've just completed my data source file. Okay, so now I want you to pay attention. At this stage, you're going to click on OK. Alright. Let's just wait for it. A dialog box will open asking for us to save the data source file. Now you can, where do you want to save it? Okay. If you don't decide, if you just give it a name, let's say question 5a. Question 5a. And you don't specify where you want to save it. If you don't do that, you can just click on save, and then a special folder will be created for you. Now, like it's called My Data Sources. So if you didn't specify where you wanted to save your data source file, please go and check in the Documents folder. Look for a special folder called My Data Sources. You will find it in there. But otherwise, let's see. Let's save it. I'm going to save mine in Documents. No, sorry, on Desktop. Yeah, and I'm gonna I'm gonna put it in on the desktop just so that it's easier to find. So I'm gonna click on save. Alright. So at this stage I'm just gonna delete this because we're gonna need this page now. So at this stage, students, the question says that save the document as question 5a and print in landscape orientation. So for 7 marks, you will have to go and print your data source file. Why? First of all, you need to show proof that you did create a data source file. And secondly, you need to use this data source file in the second section, question 5b, that we're going to discuss in the next video. But let's quickly go back. Let's go and find our data source file. Now remember, I saved the data source file on my desktop. And I know my desktop is extremely busy. But, okay, let's see. There it is. There it is. But let's look carefully. Is this the only one? There are 2 documents with the same name. Please pay attention. There are 2 documents with the same name. There's a difference between them. The first document, or let's use the second one. The second document is question 5a and it has a padlock icon. The second, or the first option here, is a document that has no padlock. Alright, students, please, this one you won't be able to open. You can only open the one without the padlock. The padlock means it's locked. You can't open anything that's locked. So what you can do, you can only use the one that is open. So double click on that one to open the file. Or you can't, if you're struggling with double clicking, you can also right click. Let me just use, it's still loading, so as soon as it's finished loading, I'll show you again. Alright, so you can also use right click on your mouse, and then you just click on open if it doesn't want to work, or you're struggling with the double clicking of the mouse. Okay, so the document is being opened. Alright, so the document is open. If you see a yellow bar somewhere around here, please click on Enable Content. And then over on the left hand side, under Tables, right click, Open, or you can just double click as well, so that you can see your data source file. Before you can do anything, please make sure that all the content of your data source file is visible. You see there, the 9 is slightly cut off. So make sure that everything is visible by basically just making sure that all your columns are visible. Alright, that's crucial. If they are not visible, let's say for example, if it looks something like this, if it's cut off, you're going to lose accuracy marks. That counts as an accuracy mistake, because whoever's going to mark this won't be able to see what you have typed there, so you will lose the mark regardless. We can't guess what you tried to do there. So anyway, so there is your details. At this stage, if you see any spelling mistakes as well, you can fix them. You're more than welcome to do that at this stage as well. But okay, now this needs to be printed, isn't it? So very easily, you click on File, and you go to Print Preview. Alright, but remember our question, sorry, not that one. Our question stated that we need to print this in landscape orientation. So don't forget that. Please change it to landscape at this stage. And remember what I said earlier on, that you can't actually insert a header. Well, we're in Access, so we can't go to insert a header at this stage. It's different here. The other alternative that you can do is, well, you can't insert a header, so it's called Office Address List. It's the name of this actual table, and that is why the examiners asked you to insert your ID number and your question number into the data source file. Alright students, this is all that you need at this stage. So you need to print this, and then all that you do is you just click on print. Alright, well, you just click on print and your document will be printed. In an exam situation, of course, the watermark needs to be inserted so that when it comes out of the printer, then the invigilator, whoever is going to, the invigilator will then see based on the watermark what seat you are seated at. Otherwise, you can type in your seat number somewhere next to your ID number or the question number. Just provide a space between the two details. Alright, so that's another option that you can follow if you do not have the watermark set up for the printer. Thank you students, that is the data source file that we've just discussed. Join me in the next video where we will be doing the main document, section 2, part 2 of Mail Merge.